Double or nothing, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brendan Plays. This is All Elite Wrestling, and it's time for the big pay-per-view. We have been waiting for it. We've been building towards it, and it is all booked and ready to go. Looking forward to it. Let's hope that we can land ourselves a pretty solid show. I'm a little bit worried about some of the matches on the card. Obviously, Blood and Guts. It could be hit or miss. We've also got the Shaq match. Is he going to be able to perform any good? We don't have a big title match. We only have the TNT title match. The tag team title match isn't as strong as it perhaps could be. So there's a few matches on the card that may not be that great. So my prediction, I'm hoping for a 75 plus. I don't think this is going to be our strongest show of all time, but let's hope that we can deliver. The fans are back. That's the good news. We have a full house at Daly's Place planned. We could have got 20,000 fans nearly, but we'll stick with the 5,500 that Daly's Place can hold, and we'll have to be happy with that. Let's keep it a little bit more realistic. I think 5,500 is great. Let's run with that. And let's run with the show. Let's get straight into it. Alright, on the pre-show, Diamante took on Awesome Kong for 41. So obviously Awesome Kong getting ready to retire, so we're having her put over some of the other women in the roster. Diamante being one, and Diamante 40, Awesome Kong 38. These two have pretty good chemistry, elevating the match to a 41 rated, which is pretty good. Only a 6-minute match, so nothing special, but Diamante gets the win as we're trying to really push her to become one of the top women in the division. I'm not sure if she'll ever win a championship, but I feel like, one of the top 5 to 6 women in the division, I think will be a good spot for her. Speaking of women, another match here. Brandy Rose defeated Serena Deeb for 41. Brandy Rose 43, Serena 35. Serena off her game as well. Bit of a way to try and have a match of a potential higher quality just because of the fact that Brandy has more popularity. So I figured if we can maybe get a 40 rated match here, that might help Serena Deeb gain a little bit of popularity despite losing. So I didn't want to have Brandy lose because I want to maybe set Brandy up for a tag team program with NJ and Tay Conti, and maybe have Brandy take a loss there potentially, or Brandy feud with either Britt Baker and take a loss, which might be a good idea, or potentially a Thunder Rosa or something like that. Next up, we had Anthony Ogogo cutting a promo for 32, so just starting to hype him up, get him on TV, get him on the pay-per-view, get him a bit of exposure. We had SCU took on the Private Party for 53. Mark Quinn broke his toe in this one, so I don't think that'll keep him out, but that's disappointing. Kazarian 51, Daniels 55, Mark Quinn 52, Isaiah Cassidy 57. So Private Party slightly outperforming SCU. We gave Private Party the win. Kazarian, he unfortunately will take a little bit of a downfall in the next couple of months because Daniels is going to retire, which means we're going to have, SCU take a few losses to some of the young teams. Kazarian will take some losses because of that, unfortunately for him. But strangely enough, SCU actually has gained popularity in the last little bit. So they have a bit of popularity to lose, I suppose, and Private Party definitely, desperately needs it to try and elevate them. So 53 rated, not too bad. So pre-show match there, and one more pre-show match. Wow, this is pretty good. We actually did a Fatal 4-Way, so we haven't done a lot of multi-man or women matches. We usually just do 1-on-1, 2-on-2, which is similar to what AEW does. Not a lot of 4-ways, 3-ways. So I figured, why not have a Fatal 4-Way here with the women, and kind of showcase them and spotlight them on the pre-show, and we had a 46 rated match. The Bunny was in it, she performed 37, Riho 43, Thunder Rosa 47 rather, and Penelope Ford 34. So we gave the win to Thunder Rosa. She pinned the Bunny, but to be honest, pretty good match. Decent quality, 46 rated. You never know, that might help out these 4 women in this match gain a little bit of popularity, which is desperately needed, of course, across the whole women's division. Alright, we open up the show, the main show, with an 81 rated match. This is starting pretty well, a lot better than what we've had recently. The Good Brothers, they lost to the Young Bucks for the Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks performed excellent, 84 apiece. Anderson 61, Gallows 57. Great match all round. It was only a 15-minute match, so it wasn't super long, but the Young Bucks just performed to their high standards for us. 81 rated, they keep the tag team titles. Good match to kind of, give the Young Bucks a short-term storyline as a bit of a pit stop until maybe we get a next team coming through to kind of feud with them. Probably the Lucha Brothers, I think. They're right there. They've had some big wins lately. I think that would be the logical step going forward. Potentially back to FTR, but maybe the Lucha Brothers first. So, good bit of a pit stop here. The Good Brothers, they played their role well, and they had a very solid match. MJF cuts a promo and says tonight he will end Sting's career once and for all. He tried it at Revolution. Clearly not. Sting didn't get the point. He's been able to come back. Took him a while to get back, but he's back. MJF's going to finish the job tonight. Gaining some storyline heat. 79 rated promo. Very good. Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose actually had a decent match. 46 rated. Jade Cargill 36. Nyla Rose 47. Now, we tried to make this match hide the flaws of Jade Cargill because I was worried. She hasn't been great. There's no doubt about that. So I figured, okay, why don't we have a mayhem match? Let's try and spice it up. Let's try and just, overbook it a little bit, make it a little bit silly, make it, just a bit gimmicky just to try and hide Jade Cargill's flaws in ring. And it worked. 46. We actually gave Jade Cargill the win too. I think Jade Cargill, despite the fact she's not great in the ring, she's got so much star power, so much star quality, has so much ability, I feel, to be maybe the top heel in the division. So, probably second heel, I suppose, behind Britt Baker. But, so much potential there, so I figured why not explore that. Nyla Rose has been up and down. She's been alright. But to be fair to her, 47 in this one is pretty good from Nyla. Alright, Mark Henry is revealed as Will Hobbs' brand new manager. So Ethan Page has been getting the better of Will Hobbs recently because Will Hobbs hasn't been able to watch his back, and Ethan Page has been attacking him from behind, getting him from behind. Well, now he's recruited Mark Henry, of all people, to watch his back and be his new mentor. Pretty good guy to have, and someone you're not really going to mess with, right? So Mark Henry debuts his new gimmick, which is going to be like a sports agent. He's going to be a talent manager sort of thing. Just kind of a manager for Will Hobbs. That rating is very good, and it's helped advance the storyline. 53 rated. So Henry is here. Now let's see Will Hobbs and Ethan Page. And they had a 51 rated match. Wow. That's impressive for these two guys, especially Will Hobbs. Ethan Page has been able to gain a bit of popularity recently. He's up to, around 40. So I'm not surprised he did well. But Will Hobbs hasn't been that amazing in terms of gaining popularity. And his in-ring performance has been good, but nothing special. But 48 from him is really, really good. And also the good news is that Mark Henry did some good ring work ringside, and they have neutral chemistry. So there's no bad chemistry there between Hobbs and Henry, so that's great news. That combination will work. We gave Will Hobbs the win. Ethan Page was not happy about it. He was furious that he took the loss, but in all honesty, to me, Will Hobbs is going to be a star. Ethan Page, yeah, I don't know. So 51 there, very good from these two mid-card guys. Christian Cage cuts a promo saying he refuses to apologize for his actions on Dynamite after he spat in the face of Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes. So 73 rated promo from Christian, and his promos are really elevating lately, which is great. He's got a new hot catchphrase, so that's working out really well for him. So he'll have a match with Dustin Rhodes now, and it is 66 rated. Pretty good. Christian defeated him in 10 minutes. Quick and easy match. Christian 70, Dustin 47. So excellent work from Christian Cage. 70 rated in ring. And he's really starting to get going, I think. He's gaining popularity now. He's up to 66 popularity. And this is a nice little feud. Nothing too major, but it gets Christian on the card. It gets him a solid win. He's able to cut some promos, get in some more exposure, and it's working, I feel. He's gaining popularity. So, I suppose we could shift it from Dustin to Cody versus Christian potentially, because there is a little bit there, obviously. But I don't think we'll go with that. We've got a different idea with Cody Rhodes going forward. But Christian could, he could be set up to feud with one of the other top baby faces. Not sure. who that will be, but there's plenty of opportunity for Christian, I feel, to be in the major mix. Jon Moxley cuts a promo and says he wants to beat the Pinnacle tonight and get his title back after Double or Nothing. So obviously the main overall goal is still all about becoming the champion and getting that title back from MJF. 82. So 2 good promos here, hopefully to salvage the blood and guts storyline, which has been down in the dumps pretty bad. So in terms of storyline heat, so we need something here to resurrect it. Best Friends took on the Lucha Brothers for a 68 rated match. Chuck Taylor 52, Trent 54, Penta 67, Ray Phoenix 75. So we talked a moment ago about potentially the Lucha Brothers being maybe the next in line for the tag titles. Well, this is why. Their performances are great. They're having good matches. They had some excellent matches with Jurassic Express. So there's so much to like about the Lucha Brothers. They're starting to really deliver. They're gaining a lot of popularity as well. And they also had Park interfere to help them pick up the win. So that kind of ties in with the Death Triangle storyline with Eddie Kingston. Well, Park, being their new leader, I suppose, he's come in and actually helped them pick up the win as well. So kind of, repaying a bit of faith for the Lucha Brothers. Going with Park, well, Park's now helped them pick up their win. So potentially a number 1 contenders match here, and Lucha Bros pick up the win. Cody Rhodes says tonight is no longer about the title against Chris Jericho. It has become personal. So what has been happening in the last few weeks, obviously Christian's been aiding in that as well. So Cody says it's not just about the title tonight and him trying to get back in the title picture. It's about, getting back at Chris Jericho. So 80 rated promo, gaining some heat for the storyline as well, which hasn't been going all that flash hot either. So Cody and Jericho, I'm a little worried in terms of match length. We did 16 minutes. I'm a little bit worried about Jericho's stamina. How much longer can he go? Will 16 minutes be too long? So let's have a look. I'm not super confident, as I felt as though this was going to be the match of the night heading into the pay-per-view a couple of episodes ago. But now I'm not really sure, so let's have a look. All right, 77, not too bad. So Cody defeated Chris Jericho in 15 and a half minutes with the Crossroads, pinned him with it. Jericho actually outperformed Cody Rhodes. I'm a little surprised by that. Jericho 84, which is excellent. Cody Rhodes 80, 77 match. So the storyline heat obviously not being as good as it could have been heading in. We had a few bad segments. We let it down a little bit. That's what cost us from getting an 80 plus rated match here. It was certainly on the cards, but it just didn't quite get there. But with this victory, Cody Rhodes is now once again allowed to compete for the World Championship. So he's had that ruling overturned now. So Cody is now eligible to compete for the championship. And that's probably where we're going to head towards in the future. Post-match, Sammy Guevara attacked Cody Rhodes. So Jericho lost. Sammy Guevara wants to make a bit of a statement, and he's coming after Cody Rhodes here and aiding in Chris Jericho, trying to get the one up on Cody. So we've talked about recently how great Sammy Guevara has been, and we need to get him in our top profile match. Well, I think this is the way we're going to do it. We're going to have Cody and Sammy next. Had this as another pit stop before we get Cody back in the title picture, and a big opportunity for Sammy Guevara to get, a high profile match on a pay-per-view. And if not, I wouldn't be surprised if that match itself is the match of the night when we get there, because Sammy Guevara has been so good. Cody performing at 80, so there's all the makings there for an 80 plus match between Sammy and Cody, which I'm excited for. That should be good. So good opportunity for Sammy. And Cody and Sammy, I think, will be a solid feud. Park took on Eddie Kingston, and I'm very surprised by this. 71 rated. Just about a 17-minute match. Park defeated Eddie Kingston thanks to Ray Phoenix coming in and getting himself involved, allowing Park to capitalize on the distraction. Park makes it his 6th defense of the TNT title. And there you go. So Park gets the win over Eddie Kingston, 71 rated, Park 78. That is so good from him. We were worried that he wasn't going to be as good as we thought, but he is starting to really, come get it right. He's been struggling for a while, but he's really doing well. And Eddie Kingston, 52, held up his own. Nothing special, but pretty good. And Kingston, Well, he's got a babyface turn coming. I feel like it's time to probably go with that. So let's try it and see how it goes. It was a success. So, Death Triangle, well, the Lucha Bros in particular, turning on Eddie Kingston officially, siding with Park. And, obviously they had the choice. Are they going to help Kingston win or are they going to help Park win? They chose Park. That allows Eddie Kingston to turn babyface. And now Kingston will have a new, fresh coat of paint, new matchups, new storylines to explore because he's kind of been floundering around a little bit. So we should have a bit more for Kingston to do going forward. Post-match, Samoa Joe enters All Elite Wrestling and he debuts. He confronts Park, points at the TNT title, gets in his face, and we set up for a Park and Samoa Joe match down the line. So the Lucha Bros are right there. They're standing with Park just to make sure nothing goes down. But Samoa Joe, yep, there we go. He's coming into All Elite Wrestling and now he'll be inserted into the mix for the championship. So I think it's an important way to get Joe involved, get him in a high-profile match straight away. And obviously not in the world title. He hasn't got enough popularity for that. But, right there with Park, I think that's a good spot to be in for the time being. 74 rated, so thumbs up all around. That's a good debut. All right, next up, Sting cuts a promo, and he says he's been waiting since Revolution to get his hands on MJF, so a bit of a rebuttal from MJF's promo earlier on, 76. FTW, Team Taz took on the Dark Order for 56. Brian Cage, the best of the match, no surprise, 65. But Ricky Starks right up there too, 46. Grayson, 44. Uno, 44. Pretty good match, 56, for a bit of a thrown together, quick little feud to kind of get these guys on the card and get them something to do. Not too bad. So short term, but effective. 56, I think that will help out. Definitely Ricky Starks. And maybe Uno and Grayson as well. Alright, we have a hype video for the Shaquille O'Neal match. He's teaming with Kenny Omega to take on Adam Page and Paul White. No idea how this is going to go down. Shaq's got a lot of popularity, but will he be able to deliver in the ring? I guess we're about to find out. 81 rated. Wow, okay. Kenny Omega, 85. And can you believe it? Shaquille O'Neal, 84. He almost outperformed Kenny Omega. That is incredible. And Shaq seemed off his game, so Shaq could have done better. Shaq, if you had been on your game, you would have been the best in this match. But Kenny, 85. Shaq, 84. Paul White, pretty good, 70. And Adam Page, 78. So in the end, we had Adam Page and Paul White defeat Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Omega. We had Paul White, he took care of Shaquille O'Neal. So Paul White proved once and for all that he's the better giant out of those two. Look, I kind of wanted Adam Page to pin Shaq, but I just felt as though if I was Shaq, I would never let that happen. So if Shaq's going to lose, the only one he would want to lose to is Paul White, because fair enough. Paul White, he's a giant, wrestling for 25 years. Fair enough, right? So Shaq, to keep him happy and keep it realistic, that's probably the only way to go. And I didn't want Adam Page pinning Kenny Omega. I wanted to keep Kenny Omega safe and keep him strong. So we didn't have that, but this is a way for Adam Page to get a bit of, revenge and kind of let this storyline officially complete, and the babyfaces get the ultimate win at the end of the day. Post-match, well, it didn't go too well for Shaq in some ways. Shaq shook Paul White's hand, gave him the props and respect for beating him. Kenny Omega was absolutely disgusted. He told Shaq to never come back to AEW again. Firing Shaq, didn't want Shaq's services anymore as he's hired gun. Forget about Shaq, he's done in Kenny Omega's eyes. So, yeah, that's a bit of a way for Shaq to kind of pass the honors on to Paul White, give him the props, give Adam Page the props, but also, finish up his short-term run here in AEW. So pretty good, 87, very good, very strong segment. All right, we had the Women's Championship on the line. Hikaru Shida versus Britt Baker, and it was Britt Baker picking up the win. It is her 5th championship defense, defeating Shida. Once again, we circle back to this one. Shida, 56, was excellent. Britt Baker, 44. So, yeah, we just didn't have any opponents for Britt Baker, so we made a rematch here with Shida and Baker. It worked well, obviously 51 rated match, but we really need to start focusing on who's next for Baker, and that's what we're trying to do lately. But good to see another solid match here, and Britt Baker has definitely improved. Her performances are much better than what they were, so she's doing really well as champion and definitely deserves to keep the championship for the time being. Alright, we had various AEW wrestlers give their prediction on Blood and Guts. Yeah, a little way to kind of get them all on the card, all the upper mid-card guys, the important people. Try and get them on the card. 63 rated here, so just a short little interview, like, okay, who do you think's going to win? Asking some of the top heels. Obviously, Inner Circle's involved there. Hager, Miro, Archer, Jungle Boy, Colt Cabana, and Santana Ortiz. So, get them on there just to ask what they thought. Alright, now we have a Blood and Guts hype video, so this is it. This is the big one. The main event, Blood and Guts. MJF has the Pinnacle with him. He's got Cash, Dax, and Wardlow. Sean Spears taken out. He can't compete. And he'll be taking on Moxley, Sting, and the Hardys. On paper, it's a pretty good match. I'm liking the sounds of it on paper, but in execution, in TW, I really don't know. I don't think it's going to be much more than 70, honestly. Because when you think about the Pinnacle, there's not a lot there. MJF hasn't got a huge amount of popularity. He's got around 70. And FTR, low mid-60s. Wardlow, mid-50s. And then the Hardys, Matt Hardy, high 50s. Jeff, touching on 70. Sting, yeah, he's got 75, and so does Moxley. So, look, you never know. And Blood and Guts, we haven't done one yet. So, let's have a look. The main event... 71. Okay. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Well, we had Sting and his team. They picked up the win. Moxley was able to get the win on MJF to set up for a match between those two. One final showdown between MJF and Moxley to close out their rivalry. So let's take a look at the performances. Moxley, best in the match, 83, excellent. Matt Hardy was good, 64. Jeff, a little underwhelming, 70. Sting was fine, he performed pretty well, 75. Wardlow, 57. MJF, 72. Cash, 71. Dax, 66. We had Jeff Hardy take a big bump in this match as well, of course. Jeff Hardy, gotta take a big bump, So, look, a 71 rated main event is not great, but, considering where this match was headed for a while, I was a little bit concerned this is not going to get to the point where we thought it was. So, I'll take a 71. I'm not super happy with it, but it'll have to do. Post-match, of course, we had the winning team. They celebrated their win. So, we had a few members of... MJF and the Pinnacle kind of upset and frustrated that they lost as well in the shot. So 74 for that one, and that will close out the show. And what was a 78 rated show. Wow, okay. Pretty good. That is pretty good. The main event didn't let us down too badly. Obviously, we had the Cody Jericho match, 77, which was good. The Young Bucks match was great. Great start to the show there with an 81, and a lot of the mid-card matches are pretty solid, mid-50s or low 60s, pretty good. And then the Shaq and Omega match, 81 for that. So two really solid matches in the card, and the main event was alright, or three I suppose if you count the Jericho match. So, three matches, 77 plus. I think that 78 rated is pretty much worth it, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to give some praise to Ethan Page, because obviously he was not happy about putting over Will Hobbs, so I'll give him some praise. Who else? Park, he had a really good performance. I'll give him some praise. And, well, Jon Moxley was the best in the match for the Blood and Guts match, so I'll praise him as well. So we'll give those three guys some props for their efforts. Alrighty, let's jump into the results for Double or Nothing. Obviously, we had a sellout. 5,500 people attended, which was great. 309,000 pay-per-view buys for a 0.61 buy rate. That is massive. So we actually changed our broadcaster deal with In Demand and BR Live and those broadcasters. So we actually, instead of airing our pay-per-view as on demand, we actually aired it as a late night pay-per-view. So it was live rather than on demand. And I guess 309,000 buys, much better results. So I don't know how realistic that is. Probably not very, but we were already doing around 200,000. So, whatever, fine. So, we've grown the company, so maybe we're growing the buy rate. So we'll leave it at that. But financially, let's take a look. We had 301,000 in, well, I like to say in the green, but in the positive mark. So we actually have made money so far this month. Our ticket sales are double. Our pay-per-view revenue has pretty much doubled as well, obviously with the new deal. So that's massive. So it's really positive. We may potentially make money this month. We still have one more week to go, and historically our employee expenses is around the 1.1 1.2 million mark. So that's still another 300,000 expenses to go, which would pretty much eliminate all our money. So I don't know, but I guess now that we've done the double or nothing, we can now start to tour again, and we can start to have bigger crowds. So that's going to be a plus for us, and I'm looking forward to doing that. We can finally open things up a little bit. Let's take a look at some of the news. So obviously Mark Quenn's injured, so we'll get to that. Santana has now got himself in better shape. And Big Swole, we had her compete a couple of shows in Impact. We loaned her out recently, so she got a chance there. And she competed on Explosion. She lost to Kira Hogan, unfortunately, but she won her other match there, and she beat Kira Hogan before that. So she had a couple of matches there, and she's been competing on Shimmer as well, so she's got a deal there. So good opportunity for Big Swole to kind of explore her opportunities elsewhere, and it looks like she's gained some popularity out of it, which is great to see, because she needs it. Definitely needs it. We'll take a quick look at the injury of Mark Quinn. Broken toe, no issue there. 2 days and he'll be back, so nothing to worry about. Same with Miro. He's been out for that injury. We haven't been able to use him because of that. Chris Statlander as well. We were going to have Chris Statlander in the women's Fatal 4-Way on the pre-show, but she was injured, so we had to leave her out. But yeah, so some positive news for us heading into what's going to be the next, I suppose, new chapter of AEW. Back fans once again. We haven't had them at all in the series until now, so it's huge for us to finally have fans back. Let's take a look at the popularity changes. Adam Page, 73 popularity now. Wow, he has gained 6 popularity. Probably because he beat Shaq. Yep, Shaq dropped down. I think he was 85. Yep, and he's dropped to 80. So that's probably one of the reasons why we had Shaq lose as well. So we could have him put over Adam Page and Paul White, and boy, did that happen. So, but Shaq's pretty much done. I don't think we'll have him anymore. We still got 3 months left on his contract, so we could use him again, but I think it could be a one and done for Shaq. I think that was really the only storyline that I had in mind for Shaquille O'Neal, so we might wrap up his contract and let him go. But he served his purpose. Adam Page now a full-fledged main event star after that win. And he's been there anyway. He's been tracking towards that. I guess a bit of a jolt, a bit of a boost towards that, a fast track, if you will. So now we need to find an opponent for Adam Page going forward. So we'll have to think about that. Cash Wheeler, no change. Jericho, he had a loss to Cody Rhodes, and he's dropped. Well, I don't even know if he's dropped popularity, honestly. I don't think so. So he's still got 83. So Cody Rhodes picked up the win, and he's now got 79. Wow. He gained 8 popularity out of that. 8 popularity out of that match. 8! After beating Jericho. And Chris Jericho didn't lose any at all. What is going on with this pay-per-view? Wow. There you go. So that is massive. Jeff Hardy, he's gained in other areas, 70 in the Southeast still. Moxley, he's gained some popularity. What is going on? Maybe this new pay-per-view deal has risen all the popularities up, but he's back to 78. He's been there before. He dropped down after a loss to MJF. Well, he's back there again. Kenny Omega, he took the loss, obviously, and he's dropped. So he dropped from 75 to 71, which is not what we were hoping for, unfortunately. Matt Jackson 66, Nick Jackson 65, 66, MJF 71. So I think that might be a gain still. Yeah, he still gained 2 popularity points, so that's good. Park 63 after his strong match. No real change from him. Sammy Guevara, he's at 63. He had a decent segment. And no real change for him either, but that's fine. He's already got enough. And Sting, he's back to 77 popularity as well after the big win. So lots of huge movement from the main event stars, which is great. Looks like Brian Cage has done pretty well. No, maybe not, but he's at 57, so he's on the cusp. Matt Hardy's back to 61, so huge movement for him. Christian Cage, 68, wow. So that's from a good match with Dustin and a couple of good promos. Christian is gaining, and he's now almost a main event guy as well. So great stuff there. Paul White, he's at 75 now as well. He had a massive win over Shaq, gaining 5 popularity points and plenty of popularity for him to give away. So someone's got to beat Paul White and grab all that popularity. Just depends who that's going to be. I'm not sure at this stage, but maybe a Lance Archer could be a perfect option there, or maybe Miro as well, but probably Archer. Samoa Joe, he's now officially part of AEW. No change to his popularity. No surprise there, but yeah, big movements. Big movements so far. In the middle of the card, Gallows and Anderson had a strong performance. Anderson's up to 55 in the Southeast. He's gained 3 despite losing. And Gallows at 52 now in the Southeast, gaining just the 1. So both guys tracking pretty well. They're still on like a written contract for us. You know, they're not... I wouldn't say they're in our plans of being our top tag team or anything like that, but they're a solid middle of the card guys. I feel like that we can use to put over the guys that we're really looking to invest our time in. Because, you know, Anderson's 41, Gallows 37. So if you're thinking long term, definitely got to look at maybe, you know, Jurassic Express, with Jungle Boy obviously being 23, you know, such a huge upside. So someone to think about there. Wardlow was involved in the main event. He's got 56 popularity himself. He's gained 3 this month. So there's been some big movement there. Now, down the bottom of the card, you can see a lot more people are of the recognizable stage rather than unimportant, which is great. Awesome Kong with bled out her dry nearly in all her popularity, no surprise. Brandy's up to 44. Baker's still at 37. Daniels took a loss to Private Party, but only dropped 1 point, which is not bad. Dustin Rhodes had the big match against Christian. He's now up to 48, so he's gained some popularity, which is great. Considering his age, he needs that popularity if he's going to be effective. Eddie Kingston's now got 44, which is a small gain as well for Kingston, which is great. Now, he's obviously turned babyface, so that works out well for him. Ethan Page, he took the loss to Will Hobbs, but he still has 41 popularity, so he's still better off than what he started at the start of the month. So I'm not too concerned about him at all. You know, Evil Uno 37, he and Stu Grayson have been gaining. They're getting close to 40. Kazarian had a small little drop, nothing to be concerned about. But Isaiah Cassidy now 39 popularity. He's gained 3 this month, which is huge for him. Mark Quinn has 40, so you'd have to believe he's pretty similar. He's gained 4. So Private Party, pretty much there now. Pretty much there being a contending tag team, a team that we can actually utilize in feuds successfully. Because at the moment they've just been stuck on pre-shows. I think we've got them over that, you know, lower mid-card of doom. They're starting to build towards the mid-card, which is great to see. Nyla Rose, she took a loss to Jade Cargill, but ended up gaining popularity. A solid match on pay-per-view. 35 now popularity for her, so she has got nothing to worry about. So a nice a little bump for her. Ricky Starks, he got a pay-per-view win as well. Teaming up with Cage, he's now at 39 popularity, so a small little boost for him recently. And a few more names to check down the very bottom of the card. First one, obviously, Will Hobbs, 38 popularity now. He was at 36, so a small little boost to him, which is great. I want to check out some of the women in particular. You know, some of the ones that were involved in that four-way. Riho's got 32, so she's gone up from 31. That's amazing. Serena Deeb, 25. She had a pre-show match. She's moved up from 24. The Bunny's the same, no surprise. Thunder Rosa's 36, still, maybe a slight little boost up. Penelope Ford, 29, so she was involved in that 4-way. She lost it though, of course, but she's gone up a point this month. So, some positive things. Jade Cargill, she had the big win over Nyla Rose. She now has 37 in the Southeast, gaining 3. So that would put her right next to Britt Baker, who's the top heel in the Southeast. Across every area, no, but definitely in the Southeast, she's right there. Diamante, she's now got 31 popularity. She defeated Awesome Kong and grabbed 5 points off of her, which is massive. Now that lets Diamante certainly be a factor at the top of the card, which is what we were hoping to achieve. So there's so much to like about that. We had so many gains in popularity from that pay-per-view, maybe too many to keep it realistic, but we have a lot to think about going forward. Certainly a lot of guys like Adam Page, he's ready to be right in the mix. Cody Rhodes has got so much now. Moxley's right there with them. So there's so many things to think about and so many potential new matchups we could explore with a lot of popularity in mind. There are a few things we have to think about. Jeff Hardy hasn't been performing all that well. He's been a bit of a disappointment. Do we keep him on the roster? Is he worth the money that we're paying him? Probably yes, but maybe it might be time for the Hardys to kind of put over some of the young tag teams themselves, because they haven't been that great. Matt Hardy's gained a lot of popularity recently, but Jeff hasn't been as good as I thought he was going to be. So that's a bit of a conversation we need to have. And, some guys in the middle of the card, Paul White's got a lot to give. Who's going to beat him? Maybe Brian Cage would probably be arguably the best option. He or Lance Archer. Brian Cage is a bit younger, so maybe Brian. And obviously Samoa Joe. He and Park. Will Park lose the title to Joe, or will, maybe the Lucha Bros help Park defeat him? I don't know. Lots to think about and lots to plan towards. And our next pay-per-view is, I'm not sure. I don't think we have one planned next month, so we'll have to take a quick little look. So obviously we're in May. Our next one is June. Okay, so about 5 weeks away, it is Fyter Fest. So then we have Fight for the Fallen, and then we have All Out. So a few, two kind of, B-level pay-per-views, I suppose. Not huge shows, but certainly plenty to look forward to in terms of what we have planned and potential storylines. But we have to kind of reset the card a little bit. A lot of these storylines are now finished, and we have to kind of start fresh, and we've got to think about what we're going to do. So we will start planning for all of that in our next episode. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for the Double or Nothing special edition of TEW here today. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe to see more, and we'll see you in the next one.